I am choreographer Danny Askelid, and I'm creating a piece entitled Time to Talk that will premiere in the Phillips Black Box Theater. Working on this piece has been challenging and rewarding in this ongoing process. I have had about a month to work with Cassidy Edwards in really looking at how psychological gesture cannot be translated from body to body, but how one person's psychological gesture can be recreated on another body through cueing, parameters, verbal exercises, and other tasks that bring about these gestures. My choreography is really about telling stories of experience, and I think gesture by itself helps us tell others our stories. So it was an interest point for me to discover how we can translate gesture into dance through the body and nonverbal communication. My creative process for this particular piece was very different from anything I have ever done before. I began with my own gestures and picked 4 that I found I did most often throughout my day. I then had Cassidy come in and we went through a series of tasks like clay modeling, verbalizing action words, parameter gains, and as we went through these tasks, movement began to materialize that I was able to then shape and mold until we reached this final score for this piece.
I remember her first saying, "We're going to work with gesture," and I was like, okay, that's going to be really cool. And I thought it was just going to be everyday typical gesture that we would just slightly morph. But no, she had me running around the room screaming out things that occurred during my day and sitting in chairs and jumping on top of chairs. And then I would get a small break by playing with clay for a little bit in between. So it became a very different process of movement than what I normally do. Usually I'm used to just movement kind of being handed to me, whereas I was very appreciative and honestly very honored that Danny let me have so much free reign with the movement and alter the gesture in ways that we would have never really thought of. So for example, like eating, for example, she threw a couple words at me, I believe, that were suspension and release or something like that. And it really changed how I would dynamically eat every day as a normal human being. And then we just added layer on top of layer on top of layer. And so you see these everyday gestures that are included throughout the piece, but they are approached so differently and dynamic. And I love that especially we're doing this in the round, because by doing it in the round, we're representing a clock, we're representing time. And it's gonna be cool because we're gonna actually have clocks hanging from the ceiling to work with, so people kind of understand this is a normal day in the life for some people, especially here with what we're doing every day. And yeah, it's been a lot of fun working with Danny on this process, and I've been very honored and appreciative that she chose me for the piece, because she could have chose anybody. And it made me look at my everyday gestures a little bit more thoughtfully now, and how I analyze the movement that I do every day, and that you can take something so simple as a gesture, even a psychological gesture, and adapt it and create something really beautiful through it. So it's been a pretty great process, if I say so myself.
I'm very excited about the piece, and I'm looking forward to seeing how the audience will interact with Cassidy in the space, because the score is so intimate and made to be more of a conversation between her and the audience. They have the unique opportunity to move about the space as they please, since there's no sitting, and they can choose to be part of her conversation, or they can choose to not be part of the conversation.